Cold case detectives were tricked, and now a fugitive who claimed he couldn't even walk is on the run. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley sorting this one out for us from the CJC. And this case has taken several turns and twists, it sounds like.
Good morning, Steve. It has. Sorting it out really is the best way to put it this morning. The fugitive told police he'd been wheelchair bound. He was injured when he was arrested back last January. But as you said, he managed to escape from police. They ran after him for about a quarter of a mile, still managed to outrun him. And now police are on a massive hunt for him this morning. Take a close look. This is James Taylor III. As I said, he was arrested last month, accused of some armed robberies of a Piggly Wiggly. And it was during that arrest, Taylor claimed he was injured to the point where he needed to be in a wheelchair. So here's how this all unraveled yesterday. He told cold case detectives that he actually had information on a murder case. He said that if police brought him to a Madison apartment complex, he would not only give them the information they needed, but he would also tell officers to talk to certain people that could help them try to make an arrest on this case. But here's where it gets interesting. Because Taylor was in a wheelchair, what police did is they checked him out of jail, literally picked him up out of the wheelchair, put him in the back of an unmarked car. He was not restrained, not wearing handcuffs, any of that. When they got to this apartment complex, that's when Taylor told police he needed to use the bathroom. When police opened the door, giving him some privacy, that's when he bolted, ran away, and has not been seen since. So police are really hitting the ground hard looking for him this morning, but they also are relying on you at home as well. So if you saw him, know where he is, know who he could be associated with, call police. That number is 74-CRIME. That's Crime Stoppers. We all know that number, 74-CRIME. Now, coming up in 30 minutes, obviously this is a pretty well thought out plan, but what do police have to say about it? Obviously, they are under the microscope this morning. We'll hear from them coming up in just a little bit. But for now, we're live at the Metro Jail this morning. I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Cuthbert, thanks. We will see you then. James Taylor, though, isn't the only fugitive on the run this morning. There is a dangerous sexual predator on the loose in Murfreesboro. U.S. Marshals and police are looking for this man, Ryan Taylor. They say he's attacked 2 women so far. He was just indicted for 2 counts of sexual battery and 1 count of rape.
He has a history, as in this case, of breaking into people's houses to commit violent sexual crimes. So we do consider him dangerous.
So you're asked to call police immediately if you see him or you know his whereabouts.
New this morning for you, a man is behind bars after his girlfriend was found stabbed to death. And now her boyfriend, Anthony Cruz, has been charged with killing her, according to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Department. Cruz called the deputies to report that his girlfriend's body was found inside her Cookeville Highway home. Well, investigators started talking to Cruz and realized this story is bogus. He made the whole thing up about finding her. They are now holding him. They're not releasing a motive for the stabbing at this time. Cruz is now at the DeKalb County Jail on a $250,000 bond.
A man and a woman are dead after a murder-suicide in Bon Aqua overnight. This is all new this morning from the Hickman County Sheriff. He tells us that it happened at about 8 last night on Moss Branch Road while a husband and a wife were having a fight. Apparently, during the altercation, Charles Sullivan shot his wife, Lisa, and killed her instantly. A witness fled from the home and told a neighbor what had just happened. When deputies arrived at the home, Mr. Sullivan turned the gun on himself. An autopsy has been ordered for both victims. Meanwhile, family members told detectives that the man and the wife have a history of domestic violence.
We have some new information also this morning about that pedestrian that was killed yesterday along Murfreesboro Pike. Police have identified him as Bryant Crenshaw. They say he was homeless. It happened when Crenshaw was crossing the street there and was hit by Alan Brown's white pickup truck. Brown says he was not able to avoid him. Crenshaw was taken to Vanderbilt, where he was pronounced dead. Police say the primary reason for the crash seems to be that the pedestrian was in the roadway. Crenshaw was crossing outside of an intersection. Brown was cited only for not having proof of insurance. He was not cited for the actual hitting of the pedestrian.
Also new this morning, a home went without power for a little bit overnight after a car hit a pole on Jones Circle near East Trinity Lane. Police tell us the driver took a curve too fast and lost control. He knocked down a power line. Only 1 home was affected. The driver was okay and up and walking around the scene. A driver is facing charges after officers caught them speeding down the wrong side of the interstate. Someone spotted a truck going eastbound in the westbound lanes of I-40 near the Cheatham County line. Officers stopped the driver just past McCrory Lane. No word yet on what charges the driver will face.
And take a look at this video, Sky 5 HD, following authorities as they were chasing a man through a couple of counties. He was the one driving that blue sedan right there with a gun on top of it. The guy's accused of robbing a drugstore and firing a shot into the ceiling. It began in Las Casas when deputies dropped some spike strips onto the front yard along Rockdale Fellowship Road in Wilson County. That's where it finally came to an end. They were able to arrest Darrell Lambert. He does have a long arrest record, including charges of robbery, assault, and criminal impersonation.
Well, a Titans player, some say, is being let off easy when it comes to some driving charges. According to the Tennessean running back, Sean Green pleaded guilty yesterday to lesser charges of failing to exercise due care and parking in a handicapped space. The incident took place back in October when Green allegedly fled Franklin's downtown square. He was trying to avoid a citation for parking in a handicapped spot. 2 other charges, resisting arrest and driving on a suspended license, were dismissed. Green has to pay some fines upwards of $700.
If your weekend plans take you down into Williamson County along I-65, you're going to have to take a little bit of a detour. The small stretch will be shut down for several hours tomorrow and Sunday. Crews continue working on the Paytonsville Road Bridge. Traffic detoured quickly off the interstate right there at exit 61. Then you'll just take the ramp and get right back on. So not a big delay, certainly not out of the way. Both bridges over the interstate suffered heavy damage after that deadly tanker truck explosion back in August. Both of those bridges, the new one and the old one, had to be torn down and rebuilt. No word on when all of the work will be wrapping up. It's a project that's been years in the making, but a busy South Nashville road could finally be expanded and widened. Last night, residents got a first look at plans to widen a portion of Nolensville Road. TDOT wants to break the project down into 2 phases, from north of Middle Creek to Old Hickory Boulevard, and then from Burkett Road to north of Mill Creek. Mostly 2-lane road would become 5 lanes and have sidewalks and bike lanes as well. Residents and city leaders say it's long overdue.
It'll make everything safer and smoother, and people will be able to get to work faster. It'll be a great development in quality of life mostly.
It will cut down the traffic that comes through here, and I can actually probably get out of my subdivision in a reasonable amount of time.
Would be nice. TDOT says it will still be a long process, though. The plans still have to be finalized. It may take 2 years before construction can begin.